16. Register number 16.
Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, final year.
Register number 16. Register number 16. Hey, mute பண்ணுடா.
Please leave the meeting.
ரெண்டு மெம்பர் போதும் இல்ல வெளியே போனா, ரெண்டு மெம்பர் வெளியே போனா போதும். Students, do, uh, inform your friends to not to join at present. Let them join in YouTube. We need space to. Hello, students, don't get join. Inform your friends. We need space to get join chief guest. Chief guest has to join.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, that's okay. Hmm.
Yes, I'm in the line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Yeah.
They're going to inform other students to get join in YouTube link.
Sure, no problem. No problem.
Yes. Shall we start? Good morning and welcome you all for the session Role of Incubators to Nurture Early Stage Innovators Entrepreneurship Opportunities for Students and Faculties. Once again, I welcome you all for this latest today's needed topic. Myself, Dr. S.J. Narmada, Professor and Head of Mechatronics, take an immense pleasure to invite our chief guest, Mr. Ramji Palila. Welcome you, sir. I take pleasure in giving an introduction about our chief guest, Mr. Ramji Palila. He is the dynamic personality with various background skills and Government of India to take care of the incubation activities. His current position at AICCCMB is to leverage the incubation facilities to potential startups in the area of biotech, life sciences, healthcare to make them successful. Prior to this position, he worked as Chief Manager, Grant Manager Division at IIT, involved in managing various national biotechnology R&D labs and as well as academicians and individuals. Set promotional priorities. Develop a flawless work schedule. Constantly monitor progress towards goals and track details, data, information, and activities. Through his unique attitude, he gains the path of upliftment in his life. And I felt privileged to give this introduction for such a personality. And thank you all and wishing you a splendid time. And once again, thank you and welcome you all. Sir, kindly take over your session, sir.
Thanks, Professor Narmada, for your kind introduction. In fact, this is great opportunity for me to 50 to 100 students maybe in the audience, and they'll be interested to look for entrepreneurial opportunities. In the sense, I think universities like yours are having already IIC and also having different departments, especially the mechatronics, which is a kind of interdisciplinary and a kind of integrated department where mechanics and electronics and robotics and all sorts of these emerging technologies are falling into, and also elite departments also. I think a CS, be it CSE or uh, ECE or computers or any other departments. If we can see electrical, even medical electronics and electricals, I think that's also gaining a lot of importance in the sense of bringing value to the emerging technologies where India is going forward. So I think even if you club with management courses and also bio and even nanotechnology kind of courses, or even the clinical departments, in case if you have, otherwise maybe your collaborators, what I mean to say, all together, forming different teams to work on certain problems and solutions. So I think in that sense, today I'd like to quickly brief you about MHRD's initiatives. I think you have the IIC. I must congratulate you and your university for having this IIC, because which is a very important council, having several advisory members there, because as you rightly mentioned, National Innovation and Startup Policy, how the students and faculty can get benefited out of this policy document, where different incentives are there. And if you can see the highlighted features, what kind of advantage for the students in case if they could not able to attend the classes, and if they could able to attend the innovation activities, and how the is managed, and how the faculty's extra time is actually incentivized, and what kind of innovation components and equity or revenue share percentages to be given to the host organization or to the inventor, being it a patent, IP, or whatever. So I think in that context, I think nicely drafted document you all can actually go through, because the trust areas already mentioned. Each section they mention about how the higher education institutions can strategize and have their own policy in place for innovation, so that the students and faculty can actually work on their different projects that are not only exploratory projects, but definitely the translational projects that can work into, that can actually lead into products and processes, so that you can form a company within your organization. So in order to actually have these um, academic enterprises within the organization, I think you should be having a proper academic ecosystem or innovation ecosystem within your institution, where you need to have different connections with a lot of uh, outsiders and MNCs, SMEs. For the benefit of students, I can tell multinational companies and the small and medium enterprises and NGOs and IGOs, I mean intergovernment organizations, with some of the uh, government organizations work together, and they'll be mediated by different agencies or schemes or programs, and again lot of funding agencies and other financial and banking sectors. So if you can have all together, and industries, specifically SMEs, actually my version of addressing is about industries. So be it your normal entrepreneurship development cell, or business incubator, or incubation center, or IIC, whatever you call, you should be having this ecosystem in place, where you need to leverage the networking and hand holding, and certainly you need to create a pipeline to have these student innovators, academic innovators, industrial connections, and funding platforms, where you can actually attract translational projects and partnerships, where knowledge exchange can happen, and JVs can be done through your enterprises and academic connections. So I think this is very important to have. I think the faculty and the management of the college need to work out how you are actually building your own ecosystem so that you can help each other to augment the entrepreneurship activities within the organization. I mean, you may be having incubator, maybe dedicated space of at least 2,000, 3,000 square feet area that can be designated as a kind of engineering tools that you provided, or maybe some carpentry tools you may be providing, or basic laboratory facilities that you may be creating. But what is other than that? You need to realize, the industry connects and advisory, mentor pool, and again legal and other funding supports, and if you can see the admin on HR also that play a key role of these student innovators and faculty innovators to actually go forward to form the companies. What are the nitty gritties? You know, I think this is very important. By being an innovation cell or an incubator, you need to actually provide that facility. That is why you need to have some space or kind of uh, zone where the innovators can actually get stimulated, motivated, and the ideas are reflecting into their minds, and that lead to different collaborations, and they can play around with those innovation processes. So, this is a kind of regular topic. You might have attended several entrepreneurship activities where, okay, starting from the idea, oh, I have these many ideas, or actually, I have this idea. You please try to put it on paper, or at least make a kind of concept or a kind of hypothesis or a kind of schematic. If you That is the first step. What is that you want to do, why you want to do, where you want to do, how you want to do, these kind of questions, about 30, 35, 40 questions of idea validation and feasibility studies, even pre-feasibility studies before you going for the feasible studies. I think uh, don't be scared of the jargons, like lean canvas models, or maybe uh, what you can say, triple chasms. I mean, there are certain words that they may be coming up when you're actually going through the entrepreneurship journey and when you're trying to understand the mechanisms and processes. But literally speaking, don't worry about the jargons that you find when you're actually starting with some idea. The idea need to be validated. In simplest terms, I can tell you those questions I told you, right? Why you want to pursue that idea? Who are the beneficiaries? Okay, and you're also one of the beneficiaries, right? You may be actually taking the idea forward to make some money for the sustainability of your company, or maybe making profits. Nothing wrong, but are you creating some value addition to the society, or creating impact into the society? Are you actually be women empowerment specifically, or any specific areas like assistive technologies for the people with disabilities that you are focusing? So what is that you are creating value? That value, I think that is very important to understand. And again, when you're trying to achieve this, you may feel that, oh, this is a brilliant idea. Nowhere I couldn't able to see this. And if I can make 100 of these products, I can tell within a month, I can make few lakhs. It's not that easy. First, you need to understand who why is not, and you're using what the customer may not be liking the design of the product, right? Oh, it looks so odd. I mean, I can't say whether in this group or maybe in the YouTube, Suzuki guys, may the people, the car reads the car, they say, oh, seeing behind. I mean, it's a kind of feeling, the first feel, but the car, in fact, I mean, you need to understand, you have to do a lot of surveys, you have to question a lot of things, going to the fields, understanding the pain points, and who would be the target customers, when you're trying to develop a kind of product that may be useful to the hospital sectors, but not for every hospitals, maybe specific to pediatric, or maybe elderly people, or maybe gynec, particularly gynecology departments. In car sector, again, no, not with the major automobile players or your customers. B2B may not be working out there, but in case if your university is making something that is useful for the automobile sector, maybe university side, the innovators directly they can transfer the technology by making an IP. In case if the automobiles are really liking it, right? So I think you need to understand whether the product or process that is to be suitable to the industrial, designs and industrial mechanisms. I think you need to understand four things very clearly. You have an idea whether it is really worthwhile or not to understand. So you have to first understand the market. See, people will say, even in your schooling, you see, so demand, okay, demand-based production or whatever, right? So whether there is a demand of it, and okay, if the demand is there, what percentage the market, or who are the market players, competitors? So market landscape, competitors landscape, and when we all talk about the innovation, disruptive innovation or incremental innovation, you need to understand whether there is a kind of novelty factor, how I am standing alone or unique among 10 other players. What is that extra value addition that's called value proposition or unique selling proposition, USP? So try to understand that. So market landscape, competitors landscape, politics, innovation, IP will be covered, but regulatory landscape in the sense, uh, maybe people may be interested for drones, for example. So the recent attacks at the border, or maybe at least a drone server, drone monitoring of Indian border maps. Well, that's really dangerous, right? So that's why I am showing one slide for you regarding a challenge a government is coming up with, how to actually counterattack drones, or at least identifying drones monitoring in those particular areas. Okay, how to nullify them, any kind of electronics or IoT interventions, or maybe any other technology, emerging technology can be used. So, but now earlier 200 meters is a permittable regulation for drone, we can say drone users for agricultural landscaping, or what you can say, pesticide sprays, or maybe UAV data for understanding the crop growth, and crop seed and crop impact. Drones are used actually in a couple of companies in Hyderabad, for example. So now, considering the BSF standard, now the regulations may be changing. So one example I'm telling, like medical regulatory, drones are regulatory, and again, building roads and building, for example, even the civil kind of innovative technologies or architectures, maybe there may be some regulations. Okay, especially the industrial kind of works when you're trying to do, there may be environmental related regulation, right? And so all these exercises you need to do for the idea validation. So maybe I can choose particular 3-4 slides to Professor Jagan later talk, but you need to understand idea validation, then getting team together, designs and testing of the designs, and reiterating, modifying your designs while testing, and then of course you need funding, etc. Right? So in your incubation center or the innovation cell, anybody is having an idea, please go and talk to faculty or the coordinators who can actually tell you maybe a kind of pre-incubation engagement you do and tell about these exercises. You is having some kind of 20-30% value, but all other parameters that I in my previous slide are to be strengthened. So please try to work on that. So this is a IICs all over India along with incubators are trying to actually strengthen the ideas and validating those ideas in the pre-incubate level. So these are the different parameters and factors that incubation centers and IICs are supporting for the benefit of students and faculty who can actually go forward with the innovation activities in IP, legal, HR, subsidiary, libraries and canteens, etc., mentoring tool, negotiations, IP, technology transfer, etc. So if you can see this slide, you need to understand, being an innovator, how to incubate, where to incubate, what are the best incubators located in your area, maybe within college, how institutional management is actually strengthening with these different factors so that you will be getting benefited out of it. So, when I come to the funding of the incubator startups and innovators, that means this slide hinting upon the advantages or India, how it is really helping with the funding mechanisms for colleges. Even Hindustan College can compete with the different funding challenges that government is providing from past 4 to 5 years. Even the new schemes came up. So just remember as I'm going through the slides, you need to understand depending on your idea stage to the next level of technology development, validation stage, pre-commercialization stage, scale up stage, whatever, different schemes can be pursued and suitable grants only can be applied. So be it AIM Niti Aayog, PIRAC DBT, and NSTDBTST. Again, TDB is there in the larger level. Other banking sectors and other financial sectors along with DSIR, innovative idea, etc. So even Gates Foundation, different challenges and Tata Trust, Welcome Trust, and other Indo-US schemes or Indo-UK schemes, etc. You please try to look into those and try to apply. So AIM website, maybe what we are seeing, I think ETL is school student-based innovation activities as well that are well supported. Close to 8,000 schools are supported by Atal Tinkering Lab. But ACIC is really suitable your colleges because colleges and universities can actually get Atal Community Innovation Centers to support exclusive 5 to 7 crores or 10 crores fund that you will be getting for your college. The students can get benefited. Even small investments also can be done. Right? So AIC, of course, Atal Incubation Centers like us, I'll be telling what we are doing in the next slides. Yes, this you need to look for the next call, and definitely you can apply for ACIC. Then AIM Prime is one program designed by AIM along with the Venture Center to identify those 10, 15 ideas and form teams along with the incubator 9 months program where you can actually get nurtured to um, take the idea or technology forward along with funding and mentoring, etc. So again, acceleration, for example, BIRAC's EUR program is one of the suitable program for students and faculty. I think the next call you please look for so that BIRAC support you will get about 3 to 6 crores or something you will get for a period of 2 to 3 years, minimum 3,000 square feet if you can show that's fine. Look for these website and understand these schemes and these are all promoting entrepreneurship because past 3 to 4 years are really revolutionary, I can say. Though Bhairac is trying its best from 2009, I think, the 9-10 days started these CBD programs and all. But from 12, Bionition Grant is one innovation flagship grant from BIRAC, and there are so many schemes starting from idea to commercialization, how they are supporting these innovation activities and entrepreneurship activities, not only from the for the startups perspective, but also for the students and faculty perspective. I think of you may be knowing, but if you have idea which can be converted into POC, idea which may be having small hypothetical or preliminary data, I think you can this big grant is coming on August 1st. So this Monday, I think coming Monday it's coming, or Sunday, I don't know. So please try to look for August 1st. Call will open. You can understand the parameters. Please try to look into the previously supported projects in the website so that you'll understand what kind of projects are getting supported. So any kind of bio component, healthcare component in the uh, IoT, robotics, data analytics, or even mechatronics, anything, whatever you call it, be it agri-tech, health tech, tech, whatever, I think you are certainly getting funded if your idea is really good. But 16th August already having a validation, POC is ready with small validations, or maybe some kind of testing is done. Maybe certainly you can look for this CBD grant. If you have large validation, if you have validations done already at the field, probably maybe you can go for the BIPP grant. So series of funding is already available. Just you can look for AIR. If you can see here, Atal, sorry, Academic Innovation AIR scheme meant for faculty members who may be having a partnership with the companies to take their ideas forward. So this is again 50 lakhs grant, just like BIG. You can actually apply before 60,000. And CRS scheme is also, if you have a patent already in your college, maybe you can actually give it to an industry, make a partnership, put a kind of contract etc. agreement between both of you. Probably about 5 to 7 crores or 10 crores you may likely to get it. So again, these are the current schemes of BIRAG. If you can see in the BIRAG website, call for proposals, you can get different schemes. And again, NCEDB, National uh, uh, you know, Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board. Okay, so NSTEDB is having so many schemes for students. I think Entrepreneurship Development Cell, IEDC, Next Gen IEDC, and again EIR scheme, Entrepreneur in Residence, per month 30,000 rupees kind of thing that student can get. And also now if you can see the acceleration programs for colleges and universities or incubators can apply, and the seed fund is available. So these kind of schemes you can actually look for NSTDB, BIRAC, NSTDB, and Atal Innovation Mission, and also Mighty Startup Hub. These four are important for you to look into. So I told you about the ATL. I told you about the EIR priors grants. And the one important scheme I would like to tell you, Social Innovation and Immersion Program. Any affordable healthcare solutions or environmental solutions like waste to value or agri-tech, or even nutrition, food and nutrition, etc. You can look for BIRAC website again. Under 35 years of age, any student once he finishes BTech or MTech, whatever, or PhD, MBBS, they can actually, if they have a brilliant uh, idea, or even not having an idea but having an enthusiasm, they can actually pitch for the schemes. We are also opening up the call, maybe August, I guess so. So I think that's a brilliant opportunity for most of the fourth year students who may be finishing their engineering. I think they can look for this opportunity. Again, Sitare is one option for early career students who are looking for entrepreneurship opportunities, because you will get about 1 lakh, 5 lakh, or 10 lakhs grant there. Sitare from BIRAC, again, you can look for, so that that is the base for you to go for the next round of grants like BIG, etc. So even if you are doing PhD and postdoc, probably you can look for these kind of schemes, be it from DBT or BIRAC, UIC, even Uh, Anna University is one of the UIC, I think. Tamil Nadu Agriculture University and Jaipur University, etc. There are five, six UICs are there, where once you finish your PhD, if you want to take your thesis to the next level as a translational project, maybe 55,000 rupees fellowship is for 18 months, and you will be getting about 5 lakhs to 3 lakhs grant. You can then apply again for the BIG grants or startup grants. I think every level of students, starting from the school students to PhDs, postdocs, and to the freelancers, wonderful schemes and investments are there. But only thing, we need to look for brilliant ideas. I think you please look for those kind of schemes. Certainly, you can get actually hit. There are different clusters now coming up. I think Bangalore cluster may be taking care of Tamil Nadu, I guess. But otherwise, Pune cluster, Orissa cluster, Hyderabad cluster, Delhi cluster, and Bangalore cluster. There are five clusters initially to work on. So maybe if you can see those websites, I think you'll get a lot of knowledge into this line. So Mighty, I told you, right, which is more relevant to your kind of works. For the current Bhumi call for purposes last date is 31st July, another 4 days. So don't so that's why the business of electronic device communication identification systems and upon open challenge program under STPI, Science and Technology Parks of India. I think you please look for these websites, like mightystartuphub.in. You'll get a lot of such information. So we are doing a lot of activities in our incubation center, Gates Foundation, along with Rich and Find. We are trying to indigenize a lot of diagnostic kits and devices are imported from abroad. So how we can actually support our own startups, our own innovators by developing the kits within the country. So that's where we get this kind of funding. A lot of partnerships also very much important. As I told you, ecosystem development. In order to promote entrepreneurship, I think you need to have strategic partnerships with a lot of national and international players. So we have the construction. These are different incubators in Telangana. So AICCCMB, maybe another 3 4 minutes. I'll tell you what we are doing. Or two floors building. Like we have 10,000 plus 10,000 square feet area. Currently, 26 incubators that we have. Four have been graduated. I mean, altogether we supported 50 startups. By the way, uh, um, four plus 12. Yeah, so about 16, 17 innovators, incubator startups already gone out of the incubator in the past 3 to 4 years. So currently we have 18 plus, yeah, so 19 physical incubators and five virtual incubators that we have. So I mean, we are trying to give all these facilities, clear close to 100 fully functional equipment, small equipment as well as big equipment for the healthcare and biotechnology purpose. So we participate with local state government activities as well as national activities like SIP. So this is the process of incubation that we do when we adapt a lot of activities like this and different tools that we'll be using. Of course, they are expensive, but it's very important to have strategized mechanisms within your ISCs or incubation centers. So we adapt these kind of market survey platforms for traction or even CV insights you can look for. And Incubator Pro is one tool that we are using to have mentors, mentees, incubation team to be on the platform to monitor the progress of the. So this is what I'm telling about the fellowship program. So currently we are doing aging and health, but now our next one is in maternal and child health. But other 13 centers that we have in India, they are looking for food and nutrition and the waste to value. PhD staff in Coimbatore, for example, they are having aging health currently. Next one is probably food and nutrition. I think you please look for those cycles and to go and talk to them. Please don't keep your ideas or your enthusiasm or whatever. Don't keep it with yourself. Please open up. And another thing, where there is a money, please shout out. Nothing wrong in it, at least. being an innovator, because okay, I think I'll do it for the next time. I think you will miss the bus. At least you can participate right now. You can actually understand, get the feedback. You just fail fast, no problem. But pitch it, compete with others. You'll get confidence, you'll get knowledge, you'll get good notes, feedbacks, comments, critics. Accept it. Accept it. Be that's the best quality of an entrepreneur, to be humble, obedient, and to accept the failures. And I think your journey may be slow, but you will be successful someday. So try to look for this Tide 2 scheme is one thing. We are working in the ICT in healthcare, but other centers are working in the ICT in agri-tech or waste to value, blah blah blah. So that's one cycle, maybe 4 lakhs per year, as well as 7 lakhs per year you will get if you are having different levels of technology or idea, and you will be getting seed fund also sometimes if you are able to finish your MVP more efficiently and having your traction ready, or at least some kind of validation partners are ready. So I think look for these kind of things. So these are our first cohort fellows that we got for Tide 2, 2 program. And the cohort completed, second cohort already started. I mean, started in the sense we selected them August 1st again. This week, we are starting the second cohort. And the seed fund that of course we'll be giving to promote CCMB, for example, if you know, it's one of the premier institutions in the biotechnology sector. So even CCMB students and faculty are also trying to pitch for different grants. Like, one student recently got BIG grant, and she just formed the company yesterday, and she'll be pitching for this kind of seed fund. So all students are brilliant. They can actually tap into any of these grants if their idea is good and they have the persistency, and they are bold enough to actually execute the things. So we do one acceleration program exclusively on the COVID technologies, any surveillance technologies or sterilization devices, drugs, therapeutics, etc., etc. So we selected 6 people now. Maybe next call we may be taking another 2 or 4 people. COVID, we tried so many activities. So I mean, today's discussion majorly onto the how entrepreneurs are helping to promote entrepreneurs. I think brilliant. As we are at the CCMB, as our host organization, we are trying to get a lot of support from CCMB and passing it through to our startups. That's where we are having all these open lab facilities where startups, even within themselves, they are collaborating, etc. I think that's where, and even this is one more program. Uh, Instead of killing animals for clinical trials or preclinicals, I think are there some organoids or kind of other lab on a chip models that can be used for drug screening or testing of other drugs and therapeutic molecules? That's where these white papers are coming from. Another 5 minutes. So another program that we are doing to support CCMB scientists, entrepreneur in residence program, Dr. Manjula Reddy and Dr. Mapati and Dr. Puran Singh. So where they have some ideas, but through incubator we are trying to actually help them. So within our organization, how we are just supporting them, right? So I think with that, I'm trying to touch upon how we are supporting uh, not only startups but also students and faculty. I think any questions, please let me know.
Students, you can use this opportunity. If you have any queries, please ask relevant to incubation center and how to develop your ideas further.
I'm trying to see the chat box, but yeah, no messages, no questions yet there. Maybe, yeah, maybe you can connect me offline as well in case if any questions are there, you can collate the questions and reach out to me. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you for utilizing your valuable time, sir. Our students are used very well in this relevant field, sir. They have a lot of ideas, but they are know how to develop further. This presentation, with the help of this presentation, they know somewhat how to generate our product further, how to get the fund for the relevant project. It's very helpful for both faculty as well as students, sir. Thank you for utilizing your valuable time, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I think they need to, you need to, the college management and the IIC need to do quarterly ideathons and hackathons. I think if you do it, they will come up. Even faculty or even any staff member or even the management, they can pitch ideas. 5 minute speech if you can arrange. I think they will be understanding what kind of ideas are there. At least you will be understanding from IIC. You can put them in front of IIC Council advisory, so that they will be telling, okay, these are the 2 3 ideas initially to pursue. The others can also be nurtured well to go forward, etc. I think we need to do these exercises to promote a lot of entrepreneurship activities. Yeah. So I think thank you. Probably, please excuse me. I mean, I have to attend another meeting, so maybe we can catch up. And I hope, yeah, at least a dozen of startups may emerge from this audience. So maybe by forming teams along with faculty members, etc. Any questions and other things, please contact me by email. Okay. Thank you. Take care, Dr. Sridhar, and wish you all the best today. Thanks, Dr. Narmada. I mean, we'll catch up some other time by email or something. Take care. Someone raised a hand for question. Okay, I think maybe by mistake. Okay, bye. Thanks. Yes, sir.